Hi everyone, it's time for Coach's Corner. Ponca City Wildcat football, our subject this week, and the Wildcats are back on the road this Friday night to take on the Booker T. Washington Hornets over in Tulsa at traditional S.C. Williams Stadium in Tulsa. Coach Allen is here with us today to talk about the Ponca City loss to Enid on Thursday night before a big crowd at Sullivan Stadium. The Wildcats trailed at halftime, but made a great comeback. And Coach, I guess that's the most positive thing that we've seen in a while is the way your guys fought back from a 42-0 halftime deficit to trail by 2 touchdowns with 7 minutes to go in the ballgame.
Yeah, we did some. I mean, I was very pleased how we came out in the second half. I mean, listen, if there was ever a time, it's that coming at halftime. That was the hardest halftime all year long. We've had some, there's been some tough ones, but this was the hardest one. And, I didn't quite know what to say to the guys, but I just, led from my gut and said, hey, guys, I listen. I want you guys to battle hard. No one quits. No one gives up. And, sure enough, we had a very, literally 28 points in the third quarter. And cut it into close, into just a two touchdown score, 2 scores away from tying it up. And anyway, yeah, I thought our guys battled hard.
To kind of talk about it, though, doesn't do it justice. If you're there and you watched, you can appreciate what a comeback it was. It was 42-0 at halftime, Enid, and it was a half coach the first half where we had some guys lose their poise. We had some penalties against us, had trouble moving the ball. Enid had moved it and scored 42 points, including a couple of late scores, to really look like, well, this is just going to get this ball game over with. When you went to the locker room, you could even tell by the bodies of the Ponca City players kind of slumped. They were kind of walking in, and that is what you call up against the wall. I mean, I think we've set up against the wall before this season. I don't think we had, Coach, any idea what up against the wall was until about 8:30 on Thursday night.
Yeah, it was, like I said, listen, it was the toughest halftime we've had as coaches all year long. We were very frustrated as coaches. We felt like, we weren't happy with the officiating that was going on. That was one reason. That was one of a fraction. We weren't happy with how we were. I know as an offensive coaches, we're scrambling to try to probably put together try to fix probably what was maybe the worst half all year long, as far as and a lot of it was the Enid's defense, and then defensively we had just lost our two two best, our pretty much 2 best defensive players had been ejected. And so, there was just a lot of things at halftime as a coaching staff, and then, that we had to work out real quick, and then how, again, approaching the players, like you said, with that, with what had happened in the first half with the body language and such, was very difficult. So, but we challenged them, and that's at that point you said backs against the wall, like you said. That's all. My back had touched the wall. Back against the wall. You keep back. It hit. So now what do you do? And fight. And I don't want any quit. And as coaches, we demand it, and we're watching it for it. And I don't want one guy quitting. And so and then that's what we did. We came out and we fought.
Wins and losses come and go. Character stays forever. And Ponca City came out, and fans that were there kind of talking, looking around, and Wildcats got the ball and scored a touchdown. And it was 42-7, and a few people kind of looked around again and looked up at the scoreboard, and Michael Mongold rushed in for another touchdown, and it's 42-14, and a few Enid people sit back down, a few Ponca people kind of sit back down. They were going to leave. No, let's stick around for a little bit. Michael Mongold hits Raylan Gaines for a 37-yard touchdown, and we're still in the third quarter. And, Coach, at 42-21, I look down, and it's like a whole different sideline. Everybody's standing. The coach is up in the booth. They're going crazy because at that point, you don't know whether you're going to win the game or not, but at least you probably did what you got into this coaching stuff for, and that is to build character in young men.
Absolutely, Phil. I mean, I'll say this. It's kind of like playing golf. At least for me, I'm a horrible golfer, and whenever I hit that one, if I hit 3 to 5 good shots in a whole round, that I'd always say those 3 to 5 shots, or even that one beautiful shot that you finally do hit, that keeps you coming back out. I'll pay my $35 green fee and cart, next time around, just because I did it that one time. Well, what we're seeing in that second, what we saw in that game is our O-line. I saw enough plays right there to, like you say, keep me in the profession, keep me doing what we're doing, and that's what I saw in that game. We executed a number of plays that were finally what we've been wanting to see all year long, as far as everybody doing all 11 doing what they're supposed to and it working out. So no, there was a lot of bright spots, and then the fight in our guys. It hurt having the two individuals that, in my mind, especially at least one of them, kind of unfairly. We were not real happy with. I wasn't real happy without a warning. All of a sudden, it just comes out of the blue. We haven't been a big personal foul team all year long, Phil. I don't know how many we've had all year long, but it's not like it. It's not like we've been just getting yellow flags and major personal fouls, and and then we have that problem all year long. I can only think of a few, in all 6, and all up to Game 7. So, all of a sudden to have, not even get a warning, was a blow. But, I was happy with how our guys fought. Yeah.
Well, it's 42-21, and as we described the game on the radio, at that point, there's about 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, and you're thinking, boy, if Enid would just do something to give us one, if we could just get one that we didn't expect, then we could really kind of work our way back into it. And sure enough, Touchdown Tony, as I've nicknamed him, Touchdown Tony Saldana, he picked up a fumble, and a 250-pound kid, he's not very tall either, but he looked like he was quite natural when he rambled and bumbled into that end zone.
Yeah.
And if you thought the place was wild before, when he made that touchdown, a defensive score, which I believe is our first defensive score of the season, all of a sudden it's 42-28, and everybody was paying attention at this point. Again, it was a great score. There's still about 7.5 minutes to go in the football game. What are some of your thoughts now as you had a ball game that you were just trying to keep the players into, and all of a sudden you got a chance to win the game?
Yeah, it starts. I mean, listen, I'm telling the coaches upstairs, you get in your next, and they work. I mean, I was asking, make sure you were getting our next round of plays,
right?
Together. I mean, this was, I'm starting to look at the board for timeouts. We're thinking now on our kickoff situations. We're thinking, what do we want to do? Kick it deep, sky kick, onside. We're asking these questions. But yeah, it's like you just said, totally changed. Gone from, coming out of the half, let's just, I want to see us fight. I want to see us not give up. To now, okay, okay, here we are. It's, we're still in this thing, and I mean, that's the type of things we're asking the offensive staff. Make sure we're getting our next series ready to go, and on our kickoffs and such, we were, asking questions. Do we want to onside, sky kick, or kick it deep? And then then now defensively we got to, we just got to go out there and stop them again. And anyway, so those are the questions. You're right. You're right. The crowd was energized. The players' energy was exciting. Coaches, we were excited, and that's what we were doing.
As it would have, Enid scored a touchdown and ended up putting the ball game away. But Coach, there in the third quarter, when we started driving the ball, drive after drive after drive, maybe not the first time all season, but it really, to me, was the first time we got a little bit of rhythm in our offense. We got a real good, and we did against Sand Springs. We had an 86-yard drive where we had a real good mix to run, pass to run. It just looked like we got that rhythm back on Thursday night against Enid too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, Phil. What we're seeing a progression here. We started three sophomores. I've made it clear we started, pretty young team, especially 3 sophomores on the offensive line, and that has held true pretty much most of the year. and we have one senior that sometimes is playing, and two juniors that play. So we are, we're a real young team, and I think the biggest reason for that is there's two things. I think we've seen a development in our offensive line over the last several weeks to where it's just getting better each week, and then our receiving blocking, our perimeter blocking also has gotten better. So our receivers are doing a better job. So that would I would think would be the number one thing that why we're seeing that is just that we've been working it. We've worked it since August, but it's just it's just now. It just takes time, and it's now starting to develop there with those guys up in the up front. And then, our core, we're gaining a little more as an offensive staff. There was, I called plays a year ago. I'm not calling them this year. So there is now becoming we're starting to get a better collaborative work between us, between the sideline and the press box. And, that's getting better. But the number one reason I think is our O-line development, and that's what our identity going future in the future years is. Listen, Coach Allen and the staff, we want to run the football effectively, and to me, I believe my football philosophy. And if you probably watching all levels, I think your football success really does depend on offensively how well you can run it, and then on the other side how well you can stop it, and that is the basis of our program going forward is, we want to make sure that both lines of scrimmages are solid, and and also the other factors that go in, fullbacks and linebackers, and we want to make sure that we we don't have a situation what we had again where we hardly had a senior O-line or D-line, and and to me, football's still a game. I know you see fancy offense, especially on the weekends sometimes from your favorite teams, but it still comes down to blocking and tackling and being physical, and I think we're just getting better at that type of stuff.
This week we play Booker T. Washington in a district game in Tulsa, and Coach, the Hornets beat Owasso last week, and they are one of the teams that you better put a red bullet by because they're on the rise, they're going up, and they're playing really good football.
Yeah, Coach Danzler. It does a great job. Talking to him last year before the game, nice guy. He's building a program there too. Now, he's doing some great things there, and I think golly, Booker T. Right now they've got a good position. I know they lost an early one to Sand Springs, but they they've got a chance. They're looking probably eyeing for that second spot in the district, and why not? So. No, they're very well coached. I'm very impressed how coached they are on both sides of the ball. We got a huge challenge ahead of us, and but it'll be fun. We beat them last year at our place. Probably it's the best game overall I've been a part of at Ponca City was last year's win over Booker T. And watching film a year ago, I was still kind of like, how are we gonna? There was a how are we going to do this type thing, and sure enough, you play the game and we won it. But no, it'll take a great effort. Like you said, they beat 36-20, beat Owasso. So yeah, they're a good football team.
Absolutely, another one of those tough district battles in District 1 out of Class 6A, and that'll be at 7 o'clock on Friday night over at S.C. Williams Stadium on the campus of Washington High School. Until next week, for Coach Allen, I'm Phil Turney.